All right, let's get into pay-per-click marketing. And for this section, pay-per-click, we're going to be classifying as Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, a little bit of Pinterest and Snapchat, but mainly we're focusing on the two biggest players in the space, which is Instagram, Facebook, which is Meta, and then TikTok. And the tactics for both of these are the same, so we're just going to lump it together for pay-per-click or pay-per-impression, really. Now, when building an ad for Meta or TikTok even as well, we use the acronym OACC, OACC. And basically what it stands for is objective, audience, creative, and copy. When we're creating an ad for Meta, there's four main parts. The first is objective, then it goes to the audience, and then the creative, and then the copy. And we'll dive a little bit deeper into what those mean. An objective is basically the goal of your advertisement. It is also the position in your funnel, and those things work together. So if you're trying to run ads for the top of your funnel for awareness, then your objective would correlate with getting awareness. And so all you need for awareness is impressions or people to just see your ad. And that's far less expensive than if you're moving someone down towards, the desirability stage or something where you want them to click and go onto your website. Then you're going to run a traffic ad, and that's more expensive than just getting someone to see your image advertisement. Both of those are less expensive than running a sales ad, which is trying to land that bottom of your funnel, that action stage of your funnel where you're trying to get somebody to finally purchase. And you don't really want to be running a sales ad unless you know that the people you're advertising to are likely on purchasing. Because if you're running a sales ad, then you're going to be spending a lot of money if you don't have a great audience to advertise to. And it gets a little bit complicated because basically what you can do is you can run a broad awareness ad, and that is targeting everybody and their mothers, right? And then say it's a video, you're optimizing that ad for video views. And so then you create a segment in Meta that is for video views. And so you create this group or an audience, a list of people who viewed that ad 75%. They watched the video 75%. And then you create that list of people who watched the awareness ad 75% of the way through. Then you advertise to those people the next level of the ad, and it's a link click ad. It's a traffic ad. And so you're only advertising the more expensive link click advertising to the people who have already shown their interest by watching 75% of the cheapest ad, which is the awareness ad. Then if you get people to click the link, go to your website, then on the bottom of the funnel, on the most expensive sorts of ads, which are the sales ads, you can target those sales ads for the people who clicked the link of your traffic ad. And so what you're doing is you're creating a funnel, which is a triangle, and you run the awareness ad, you cast your net to a large pool of people, and then you narrow it down and you give them, a bite, a nibble. When they bite some, you notice that, okay, those are the people who we should really, really advertise hard to. And you spend the most amount of money on your sales ad to the people who are most likely to buy. And that is basically a big meta analysis of how to create advertising funnels. Okay, so I just talked about a lot of different topics and attributes of an advertisement, and the first was objective, and objective is the reason you're advertising. Are you advertising because you want somebody to click a link, or are you advertising because you want someone to buy your shirt here and now? That's the objective. The next is the audience. And I talked about that in the funnel when I said, the audience could be people who watched your previous ad 75%, or your audience could be targeted by a geographic. Maybe you're only selling a product that women use. Maybe you're a hair salon for women. You can advertise to just women. That's a demographic side. And we talked about that earlier with the customer persona. You can also advertise based on their geographic location. So if you are a local bar or something like that, you can advertise to people only in the vicinity of your establishment. And that is extremely powerful. Now, once you've picked your objective, once you've picked the audience that you want to advertise to, the second to last piece is the creative. And this is the image. This is the video. A couple notes on creative: that people click out of a creative within the first second. About 90% of people click out of it within the first second. They're just scrolling. So the very beginning of your advertisement needs to have a hook. It needs to call out the right audience as well. And so having like a, are you a small business owner? Saying something like that at the very, very beginning of your ad, it narrows down the audience and it calls them out to tell the relevant people, keep on watching. So the anatomy of a great ad is the top is the hook, and you're just going to grab their attention, and you are trying to filter out the right people to continue watching. The next is why they should care, why this is important to them. What kind of problem are they facing and how are you going to solve it? And then finally, the call to action. What do you want them to do at the end of this? Do you want them to follow your page? Maybe. Do you want them to click through and go to your website and sign up for your newsletter? Tell them that. Do you want them to buy today because sales are going fast? Tell them. So you really need to have a call to action. You need to tell them why they should care. And then also at the beginning, you need a hook that really grabs their attention and gets them to keep watching, because that's the hardest thing to do. The last piece of an advertisement on Meta or on TikTok or any of the other pay-per-click platforms is the copy. What are you going to write? And my advice for the copy is to test. On Meta, you have the option to put a couple different formats of copy. Similar to the creative video or the picture that you make, you want there to be a hook at the top. You want there to be the why they should care, and then a call to action. And I recommend using different formats to test so that you can see, does your audience like a long form, a paragraph? Does your audience like a one-liner? Does your audience like bullet points? Test different options, and that's how you find your optimal copy. It's really a trial and error, but what I can advise to you is to take note of what other businesses are doing on Instagram. Follow other businesses that you think are inspiration. If you can tailor your algorithm on Instagram or TikTok or wherever you consume content to show you advertisements to your current space, you can take note of what those companies are doing in their copies. And then that transcends to all the other different parts of the advertising cycle as well. So you can look at what kind of creative videos are they making, what kind of, goals do they have, what are their objectives of their advertisements. Overall, it's just important to keep your eyes and ears open in the advertising landscape so that you can take inspiration.